right, babe, so we're about 10 days into starting locks, rubbing my hands around with some short hair, and
So, if you don't know, my name is Shane Fallon. This is where we talk about hair. I've been studying hair since 2006, and I first started wearing locks on my head and studying locks back in '99. So, you can imagine I might have a little info for you.
today is fourth shampoo day. I haven't done anything except for that rubbing today. I want to show you, you can see that we're getting some locks started up in here. There's a few that are going pretty well. Something in here maybe. So you can see that there's a few locks getting started. I haven't really done a whole lot with it today, except for shampooed. And I shampoo every couple of days. The hair needs to be squeaky clean during this process. We don't want dirty grit. We don't want extra grit like texture powders or any of that kind of stuff. You don't really need salt sprays or anything like that right now. What we're doing is we're cleansing the hair and getting it squeaky clean, and that flares the cuticle ever so slightly. I utilize bar shampoo. Something like this, a nice bar soap, and it cleanses really well, rinses out really well. When I'm cleansing, I'm not roughing anything up. I'm getting it to suds up and just kind of smashing it through and then rinsing it really, really well just to get it really squeaky clean. When I get out and everything is damp, I rub it around a little bit to get everything kind of formed where it had been, just feeling it underneath my hands and letting go and letting that dry like that, like it is right now. And so currently I've dried everything and I'm gonna start rubbing it around and palm rolling stuff out, but I wanted to show that there are locks actually starting at day 10. So with 4 shampoos in and 10 days in, and we're squeaky clean, that means every time I shampoo, I have to be delicate with it there and then go through and redo everything I've already done in a sense, right? What ends up happening is every time you shampoo and then redo everything, a few days later, you're further along because the squeaky clean everything got to grip on. And we've also wet set it in this way essentially because each time I've cleansed, I've gone through and brought everything back to where it was prior, let it dry, and then go back from that point. So there was a wet set involved in there each time as well. What you see on the screen, but understand this takes a lot of work. Not only does it take diligent work every day, all day long, every morning, every evening, throughout the day, the whole time, there's stuff happening up there. I'm either twisting stuff, I'm either rubbing stuff, I'm doing something with it, as well as going through the process every time I'm shampooing, which is multiple times right now. Only during this stage do I need to shampoo and be this diligent with everything. But these are the stages where I need to be working on this all the time. Where it's been going in the comments that have been coming up is that a lot of people are wanting to do this, and I'm gonna say it's not for everyone. This is literally, I'm gonna have messy, crazy hair, people giggling at me because it looks silly, and that does happen often. But the thing is like, I don't care, but other people, not everybody can go through that kind of stuff. And then so that ego death that goes along with it is there. For me, I've been through it a few times. It doesn't faze me the same way anymore. Though if you're not ready for that kind of a thing when you go into public, it's not easy. Beyond that, this isn't something that's going to happen really fast for somebody necessarily because it's happening really fast for me. I've done this a few times. I also know that it requires work throughout the day, every single day, to get it to come along to this point, especially shampooing it that often, because when you shampoo, essentially things want to fall apart, right? We think. And so when we go through and do this, it has to be done every single time. It can't be, I'm just going to start this and it'll be dreads. That's not how it really works. Though I am 10 days in and I'm getting a lot of stuff locking up, it's still another 4 to 8 months out before anything really starts to lay down and become locks hanging out. So I'm really stoked at the beginning of this journey. It's getting a whole lot of traction right away. I also want to be very forewarned that like, this isn't necessarily for everyone. This is just another method. When people are like, can this method be done? Can I do this with longer hair? Can I do this with other things? All hair will lock up. What are you willing to do inside of your journey? What do you want your journey to look like? This is why a lot of people go to instant locks, because it isn't, this entire process is a long process with ego death involved, with a whole lot of separation involved from like, I mean, it's only just from like public you've never met anyways, but it's it can be disheartening if you've never had it happen to you before. And so these kinds of things that go along with it, and then that's not the only thing that goes along with it. You have to completely let go of every kind of beauty standard that was ever brought in, any kind of beauty standard you had with your hair, as well as it's the crown of your head. It's like this thing, the first thing that people see. Hair is a precursor to a lot of people. And so that being said, like, should it be or shouldn't it be? It doesn't really matter. It really is and always has been. I mean, and so taking that into account, understand that you would now have a precursor immediately right in front that is not blending in. And so, yes, I mean, every method is a viable method of locking. It's really, what do you want to do with your journey? But today, I'm happy to be doing this with my journey. I really enjoy this way of doing locks. I've been doing crochet on my head often with multiple sets to learn a whole lot about the crochet and the angle and the things and the stuff. I've done it multiple times to do that kind of stuff. Right now I'm doing this more to educate you guys, but also because I really enjoy this way of starting locks and going through this journey. I also really enjoy how it instantly builds into my daily routine, caring for my locks, and eventually that calms down a whole heck of a lot. And then I just get to have locks. I can't really think of anything else to touch on other than thank you for watching along. And it's coming along really good. And I've got these little baby nodules starting, little tiny nuclei that are gonna grow into locks. And that's pretty cool to see happening already. And thanks for watching, guys. Happy locking. So I've been sitting on this video for, dude, over a week. I think I'm about 3.5 weeks in, maybe 4. I just want to drop this video. I figured I'd pull over, make us a cup of coffee while we're on the road. Let's see where this is going. It's happening. And go walk the beach for a second. So I figured I'd drop this video before I got back on the road so that I can get it out of my thing and be editing the next one, which is already old compared to what's happening right now. So hopefully you guys aren't too far behind with this, but I'll give you an update soon. Stay tuned. Happy locking.